1977. Ohio State University.
Sexual assaults on 4 women in the Ohio State University area.
In 1977, protests were widespread at Ohio State University. Following a series of sexual assaults, demonstrations erupted across the campus. Within just 12 days, 4 women had been sexually assaulted. In addition, the victims' money and valuables had been stolen. After the protests, the FBI accelerated its investigation. Based on information provided by the victims, 2 different police sketches of the suspect were created. Through analysis of the collected data and the perpetrator's behavioral patterns, the FBI determined that all attacks had been carried out by a single individual. A fingerprint found at one of the crime scenes was matched, and the suspect was identified: Billy Milligan. Since Billy had previously served time in an Ohio prison, his fingerprints were already on record, making identification easier. A raid was carried out on Billy's apartment, and he was arrested. The strange part? While being taken into custody, Billy warned the officers, saying, "Watch out for the bomb." The fire department was called to the scene. After a search, a box was found, but inside were only batteries and wires. Most likely, even a 10-year-old child would have realized this was not a real bomb. During the search of the apartment, items taken as souvenirs from some of the victims were also discovered. Following the arrest, the court process began rapidly. Everyone who knew Billy was shocked by what had happened. Even more interesting was the fact that Billy himself seemed not to fully understand what he was being accused of, as if he had no idea what was going on. According to the indictment, the trial began with charges of 3 kidnappings, 3 aggravated robberies, and 4 counts of rape. Under American law, everyone has the right to legal representation. If a person cannot afford a lawyer, one is appointed by the state. Billy Milligan had no money to hire a lawyer, so Judy Stevenson and Gary Schweikart were assigned as public defenders. In truth, Billy was lucky because both of them were highly competent attorneys. Judy and Gary spent a great deal of time with Billy during this process. Even though they could not fully understand what was happening, they sensed something was clearly off. The man standing before them was not a normal person. In the United States, for someone to stand trial, they must meet certain mental criteria. They must understand the nature of the crime. They must be able to distinguish right from wrong. They must be capable of cooperating with their attorney in preparing a defense. Billy, however, was not aware of the crime, could not distinguish right from wrong, and often stared at his attorneys with empty eyes, unable to process what they were saying. As a result, his lawyers requested a psychological evaluation. By order of the judge, psychologist Dorothy Turner was appointed to assess Billy. She conducted several interviews and even administered the Rorschach test. However, the results were highly inconsistent. Additional physical and psychological tests were performed. Billy's IQ showed extreme fluctuations on different days, sometimes at levels indicating intellectual disability, and at other times reaching genius-level results. To better understand this anomaly, doctors connected Billy to an EEG machine. When the results came in, everyone in the room was stunned. The machine indicated brainwaves not of an adult, but of a child. In other words, the person being tested appeared mentally far younger than Billy's actual age. The operator reportedly said, "Either there's something wrong with this machine, or this person's brain is functioning differently at different times." In reality, this pointed directly to multiple personality disorder. Billy's attorney, Judy Stevenson, said the following: "Billy Milligan had different personalities. Each of them walked differently, spoke differently, and reacted differently. Some even had different accents. If you spent enough time with him, you could start to tell who you were talking to. We all have different sides to our personality, and we are aware of them. But in a person with multiple personality disorder, these different sides are completely separated and divided into distinct personalities. And it doesn't stop there. These personalities may not even be aware of each other's existence." The court did not find Billy's condition sufficient at first. His lawyer, Gary Schweikart, consulted Dr. George Hardin, and requested that he diagnose Billy. At the time, Dr. Hardin was a highly respected figure in the field of psychology, and his opinion would not be ignored by the judge or jury. After several sessions, Dr. Hardin officially diagnosed Billy Milligan with multiple personality disorder. Billy was now legally declared mentally ill. This meant he could not cooperate with his attorneys and therefore could not receive a fair trial. As a result, he was not held criminally responsible for his actions. He would not go to prison, but he would be sent to a psychiatric hospital. During treatment, specialists began analyzing Billy's personalities. Multiple personality disorder is actually a condition the mind develops to protect itself. It is often seen in intelligent individuals with vivid imaginations. When such people experience trauma, the mind creates alternative realities to cope. These personalities tend to excel in specific skills. And that was exactly the case with Billy. When Arthur came forward, even Billy's voice would change. Cold, calculating, and spoken with a British accent. He thought analytically, acted intellectually, and carried a controlling, emotionless presence, making him one of the dominant figures in Billy's internal hierarchy. In moments of danger, it was Dragan Vidaskovic who took control, a fierce, Serbian-born personality whose name came from the words rage and again. Bold, strong, and combative, Dragan led several robberies and assaults, holding the second position in the hierarchy. If persuasion was needed, control shifted to Alan, the outgoing, socially skilled personality, fluent in conversation, and the only one who smoked or used his right hand. Alan excelled at drawing portraits, often tricking even the psychologist by imitating others, including himself. The practical problem solver and escape expert was Tommy, skilled in lockpicking, quick with his hands, and able to play the saxophone. Tommy usually took control when adaptability or escape was required, often outsmarting professionals who tried to study Billy. Some alters emerged purely to shield emotions. Christine, only 3 years old, carried pure, innocent fear, abandonment, and the need for affection. Christopher, representing Billy's adolescent trauma and feelings of rejection, was shy, introverted, and often depressed or fearful. David became the keeper of pain, storing Billy's traumatic memories so the other personalities could continue without being affected. Danny, terrified of men due to childhood abuse, expressed his fear through dark, abstract art, while Adelana, gentle, emotional, and longing for love, took control of domestic tasks and cooking. She was a lesbian, and during certain sexual offenses, she held sway. And then there was Billy himself, 23 at the time of his arrest, overwhelmed by his past traumas. He had once tried to end his life, and as a result, the other alters suppressed him, keeping him dormant. Because of his tendencies towards self-harm, he rarely held control over his own actions. Initially, experts identified only 10 personalities, but with deeper therapy, they discovered 14 more. These additional alters had been suppressed by Arthur and Dragan because they disrupted the internal balance or engaged in harmful behavior. Steve, with his mimicry and humor, had mocked authorities and was punished and silenced. Martin, arrogant and resistant to growth, was also suppressed. The internal world of Billy Milligan was a complex, fragile balance, each personality playing a role in survival, protection, or adaptation.
I can't hear him now. Well, I can hear and I know that they're... Is that the people that lady told me it was inside me? What are they doing in there?
As the days went by, Billy's treatment continued. Slowly, childhood trauma resurfaced. His mother Dorothy's love life was unstable. When Billy was 4, his father took his own life. Dorothy went on to have several short, turbulent marriages filled with violence. Billy's secure attachment was constantly disrupted. In 1963, she married Chalmer Milligan, a man who initially appeared kind and respectable, but his true nature emerged quickly. He abused Dorothy and sexually and physically abused Billy. Some sources claim he locked 8-year-old Billy in the basement and tortured him. Others say he smashed his head into concrete for wetting the bed. Billy's mind created these personalities as a survival mechanism. Though Dorothy eventually left, the damage was done. Billy's school life was chaotic. Teachers reported moments when his eyes would go blank and he would speak like another person. At 15, he was sent to a rehabilitation center by Child Services and stayed until age 17. When he was released, he was unstable and unable to control the personalities inside him, often losing hours of memory. After years of therapy, the alters began communicating. A new personality emerged, the teacher. This was a unified consciousness combining all knowledge, wise, calm, and insightful. His doctor described him as the most intelligent and fascinating personality. The teacher symbolized healing, the beginning of integration. Though progress was made, conflict between alters continued. Some nights were filled with internal battles, but the teacher kept trying to impose order. On July 4, 1986, Billy Milligan managed to escape from the hospital where he was staying and disappeared without leaving a trace. Maybe his mind had finally come together and he planned everything. Or maybe the alter named Tommy had taken control and escaped from the hospital. Of course, the newspapers wrote about it. After all, a mentally ill patient with many crimes, 24 personalities, and no legal responsibility was now free. Naturally, the police went after him, but Billy was also smart. He had a friend create a fake ID for him. Under the name Christopher Carr, he traveled to Bellingham and Seattle on the other side of the country. He rented a house for himself and earned money by selling the paintings he made. After escaping, he even recorded a video saying, "I didn't run away. I just wanted to live a normal life." He sent this video to the police who were searching for him. Everything seemed normal until his next-door neighbor, Michael Madden, suddenly disappeared. Michael's friends called the police. Billy, now known as Christopher Carr, was questioned. After the interrogation, he was released because they thought he was innocent. But Billy, scared by the police questioning, left immediately and went to his aunt's home in Florida. The police found this suspicious and searched Billy's house. During the search, they found Michael Madden's belongings. Even though they continued looking for him, it was difficult because they were searching under the name Christopher Carr. Billy probably had an internal conflict. He called the police, said he wanted to turn himself in, and gave his location. After that, he was arrested by the FBI. Of course, he would not go to prison, but he would be sent to a mental hospital again. He was once again under the supervision of Dr. James Lindner. Billy was not happy about this. At one point, he even went on a long hunger strike. It lasted so long that his lawyers went to court. With the judge's decision, Billy continued his treatment with Dr. Sheila Porter. During this treatment process, Billy slowly began to get better and returned to normal. Dr. Sheila Porter and Billy's lawyers applied to the court for an evaluation. The judge wanted an outside opinion. Billy was taken to McLean Hospital to be evaluated by Dr. Chu. Dr. Chu met with Billy every day for a week. At the end of these meetings, he reported that the personalities were balanced and that Billy no longer had multiple personality disorder. According to his report, Billy Milligan was no longer a serious danger to others. With the doctor's report and the judge's decision, Billy was discharged on August 1st, 1991. Billy Milligan was now free. With help from his mother and sister, he tried to adapt to normal life. In fact, he had already started adapting. He even had a girlfriend. Everything seemed fine, but after a while, Billy threatened his girlfriend during an argument. He even said, "Because I'm mentally ill, I won't go to prison. Even if I kill you, no one can do anything to me." I didn't get punished even when I killed my neighbor in 1986. For years, Billy Milligan had been known as mentally ill. Maybe he had fully recovered and remembered all the crimes he committed before. Maybe his multiple personality disorder wasn't completely gone, and an unwanted alter took control for a short time. Or was it possible that from the very beginning, he had been acting like an Oscar-worthy actor and fooled the judge, doctors, psychologists, the media, and even himself? After all, Billy claimed that his alters committed the crimes, yet now he was threatening his girlfriend with death. Luckily, they broke up peacefully. After that, he lived on the money he earned from the books written about him. He didn't need to work because the income was enough. He lived without committing any crimes until the 2010s. In the 2010s, Billy Milligan was diagnosed with cancer. In the middle of 2014, while still receiving cancer treatment, he asked his nephew, "I hurt so many people. I killed some of them. I did terrible things to women. Will God forgive me?" So was he really a mentally ill man with multiple personality disorder? Or was he a very intelligent and cold-blooded criminal?
The Dark Vault. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more awesome content.